You've got to check out those teleportation books. They're going to get you places. Surprise! I started a reading journal. So from now on, once every month, I'm going to do a voiceover wrap up, and you can watch me journal in all the books I've read. It's going to be short videos and to the point, essentially talking a book a minute, sometimes less so, because you know that I like doing reviews. Hence, there are occasionally just links to the books I'm talking about at the current moment. The first page I made is mostly blank. It's space for me to fill in the books at the end of each month. The next page, however, is dedicated to my first read of the year, Don't Overthink It by Anne Bogle. I'm quite happy with how the page turned out and the video itself. You can check it out on my page, link in the description box. I printed out pictures from the video because it was basically Russian winter aesthetic and it looked really nice. And then I left space to print out a QR code for me to link it up to the actual thing, so feel free to watch it on my channel. Next spread is dedicated to The Wicker King. Also, I know I'm going really fast at the moment, but I will be doing a flip through at the end, and this is my first time doing such a video, so any constructive criticism would be helpful. Just leave a comment. The Wicker King was a read I enjoyed because it covered such themes as mental health, identity, and the plot was amazing. I also loved how the relationship wasn't forced and the interactions felt real. But this is a book that romanticized obsession so much. It was just way too unhealthy, and I feel like this is not the book to market for YA, because you have this one boy being emotionally codependent on the other to the point where he's risking both their lives. So many people are saying, wow, this is so cute, and etc. Look, if you're not looking at the book in depth, that's okay, but there are problematic moments, and I think that if you read it, you should acknowledge them. 3 stars. Fit a whole murder mystery trilogy into the next page, and I'm quite proud of how it turned out. I am not great at drawing people, so I'm afraid David turned out a little bit weird. I filled this page with noteworthy quotes. I'm not sure you can read them, but it's stuff like, does girl detective need her breakfast? Yes. And does daddy issues need his therapist? As you can tell, this is a very snarky detective investigation at an elite school. Dark academia vibes? Oh, definitely. The main character, Stevie, needs to solve a case that's been cold for like 50 years. I would say that this should not have been a trilogy, and I guessed the murder answer at the end myself. Pretty proud of that. This is definitely more of a YA book, so if you're into hardcore murder and true crime, maybe this isn't it, but the trilogy reads easily and the characters stick around. I can't wait for the 4th book, which is apart from this, but still follows the same cast. This is a tradition now that every month I read a book recommended to me by @vbibliophile. This month was actually 2, but the page you're watching me create now is The Idiot by Elif Batuman. It follows the story of a young Turkish girl and her life at Harvard. It's a slow read, but I found the writing style beautiful and humorous. As well as that, it puts you into the mood to think about life. If you're looking for a moderately short, lovely contemporary to break up some of those filled with action YA reads, this is it. Head to the shops. The book, titled as a homage to Dostoevsky, is guaranteed to be your thing if you're into reading about philosophy, linguistics, and everyday life. Next up is historical fiction, recommended to me by another Bookstagram friend, Joanna. This is Hamnet, and I did a review on this book, link in the description box. This is the story of Shakespeare's famous tragedy Hamlet, but instead Maggie O'Farrell's novel focuses not on the play's creation, but rather the bard's family and the boy behind the play. You can read all my thoughts about the book on Instagram. For this page, I wrote out Hamlet's monologue, and of course I drew a skull. Priory of the Orange Tree is the standalone fantasy I would recommend to literally everyone. Yes, it's a massive book, it might seem intimidating, but it has great representation, an intricate plot, and a gorgeous cover. I might upload a full Instagram review on this read at some point because the more people hear about it, the better. It's a famous book, I know, but still, the more the merrier. I thought the ending was a bit rushed and the pace at the beginning a little off, which made me give it 4.5 stars rounded down instead of the full 5. But I mostly have fond memories of my time with this book. Maria Reads and Rants recommended me this fantasy by Carrie Maniscalco about a young witch investigating the murder of her sister. You might know the author from her hype books Stalking Jake the Ripper, but Jack the Ripper, but I haven't read them. I loved the plot and mostly everything, but I hated the main character. She drove me crazy. I'm sorry this isn't a nice thing, but oh my god, she was so stupid. Yet again, risking lives for the sake of plot. That's why I gave it 3 stars, but in terms of the Instagram feed that I made for the book, maybe a 7 out of 10. I like the color scheme. Blooded Wolves is a fantasy I enjoyed much more, but for some reason I just can't bring myself to start the second book. What I would say is it's very like Six of Crows, and Six of Crows is the better original, so if you're looking for something new, this isn't it. However, the puzzle level was extraordinary, like drop dead. This was a whole other level. I adored the world building and the banter. Maybe this isn't a super new idea for the book itself though, but who cares? It was very well executed, the plot twist took me by surprise, and frankly, it was just interesting, so 4 stars. Visible Women, back to at VBibliophiles recommends. You also saw this in my ebook haul I did last week. I wanted to make like a musical sort of page, and this is an important read, so I don't want to gloss over it now. The link to my review will be in the description box. Wait, what am I talking about? Last week was L'étranger by Albert Camus. Sorry, I'm getting lost in time. I made a video with my review and philosophical questions the novel poses. I'll also link it below. The Devil in the Dark Water is a maritime mystery where Samuel Pepys investigates the evil work of a devil called Old Tom, and dead bodies keep being discovered. I want to post an Insta review on this tomorrow, so watch out for that. I planned out this page digitally, so it's more of a collage type of thing. The Nickel Boys was a shocking read. It's historical fiction based on the atrocious events of the Dozier School. I'm going to link the article so you can find out more about this. The only reason I didn't give the book 4 stars was because of the ending. I needed more. It felt too abrupt, though it could be symbolism, of course. Crime and Punishment, my first Russian book of the year and my first Dostoevsky. I am definitely going to read more of him later. I am planning to do a video on the book. Sorry, I know this video is mostly linking, but there's just so much to say on everything, and all of the books I read this month were pretty special in their own way. So yeah, watch out for the in-depth Crime and Punishment review. I also attached a video that I made based on what I saw the book like.
Breathe in. Breathe out.
Okay, and now it's time for the final flip through. I hope you enjoyed this new format. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and any tips on bullet journaling would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.